Hello student, I am Suraj Kumar, your geography teacher, and today's I came up with new chapter, that is chapter 2 of your NCERT book part A, that is fundamental of physical geography. And here in this chapter 2 we will study about the origin and evolution of earth. Firstly, let's see that in this chapter we deals with following topics. Firstly, the origin of earth and the earlier theories related with the origin of earth. Then comes the modern theories, then Big Bang theories, then the star formation of planet, then comes our solar system, different planets of the solar system, then the moon, the satellite, natural satellite of earth, then evolution of earth, means different landforms developed over the surface of earth, the physical features over the surface of earth, then the development of lithosphere, evolution of atmosphere and hydrosphere, means earth के ऊपर जितने land part जो है उनका evolution, then air part, then water bodies over the entire earth, and then the origin of life. Okay, so let's start with the earlier theory, the origin of earth and the earlier theories. See it here, I just going to start this origin and the evolution of earth. Okay, so here in this chapter you have learned a poem in your nursery classes or in baby prep 1 or baby prep 2 classes, and you have read about or had you remembered that poem, just recall it. There was a poem in nursery which rhythms like twinkle twinkle little star. Had you remembered that poem? I think all of you have some sort of all of you can recall that poem. So what is all about? It's all about that a child, even a small child of baby prep or the nursery class, have some sort of understanding regarding the origin and evolution of earth. So all of us in the starry night have always attracted us since our childhood. Means in the starry night, if we used to look into the sky, sky will always used to attract us since our childhood. We used to question many things like what are these things twinkling in the night over the sky. Then the questions like how many stars are there, can I or anyone can count this, is countable or non-countable, how these stars came into existence, is this possible that we can reach there, we can touch these skies, something like that. And in this chapter we will learn about these things, twinkling little star, how these twinkling little star were formed, and we will eventually read about the origin of earth and the evolution of earth too in this chapter. So there are large number of hypotheses proposed regarding the origin of earth or the origin of stars. So let's start. A large number of hypotheses. What is hypothesis first? Hypothesis is all about in each and every subjects the scholars or the scientists used to propose or used to have a deep study about some of the topics, and they used to propose something or publish paper based on their studies which is proved or have some relation with observation, stats, or some sort of regions or theories, and based on these things the different scholars of the subject related will agree with the paper proposed by the given scholar, and if all of them will agree, then this become a hypothesis. Same like when all agree, the proposed document become a law. Same way here, when other scholars of the community accepted the published paper, then it becomes a hypothesis. So a large number of hypotheses were put forth by different philosophers, scientists, geographers regarding the origin of Earth, and one of the earlier among and one of the most popular among them was German philosopher Immanuel Kant. The mathematician Laplace revised it in 1796, and this hypothesis is known as nebular hypothesis. So what is this nebular hypothesis? We will see in a little while in detail. Further, hypothesis considered that the planet were formed out of cloud of material associated with a youthful sun. So in short, we can understand that nebular hypothesis is considered that planet were formed, all the planets around any star. Let's suppose I am talking about our own star sun. So all the planets revolving around the sun is formed out of cloud material associated with the youthful stage or the early stages of sun or our star itself. And these planets were rotating the sun slowly. Later in 1900, some other scholar known as Chamberlain and Moulton had given a wandering star approach or wandering star hypothesis of formation and origin of Earth. What it was? Chamberlain and Moulton said that there was a large cigar-shaped extension is there over the surface of sun. सन का एक सरफेस हुआ, सन का सरफेस है, सन के सरफेस के ऊपर एक सिगरेट के शेप में, सिगार का शेप में एक एक्सटेंशन था. दे सेड कि पहले एक सिगरेट टाइप का एक एक्सटेंडेड पार्ट ऑफ सन था, जो कि लेटरली एट सम पॉइंट ऑफ टाइम और सम सॉर्ट ऑफ टाइम एक वंडरिंग स्टार आया था. Shooting star, wandering star is there. So there was a wandering star this wandering star hits this extended part of the sun, and because of this collision, this cigar-shaped extension broke down into smaller materials. The wandering star who collided with the extended part will passed after hitting it and moved away. The material separated from this extended part of solar surface started to revolve around the sun because of the gravitational force of sun. They cannot get moved away because sun's gravitational force bound them to revolve around it itself. It slowly condenses, and all these particles which was separated by hitting the wandering star to the extended part of the sun started to revolve around the sun, and it slowly condenses into planets. Different planets formed by these scattered part of the extended material of the sun. So I think you will understand this Chamberlain and Moulton wandering star approach or theory. Laterally, Sir James Jeans and Sir Harold Jeffrey supported this argument, and in later state at some point of time the argument considered of a companion to the sun to have been coexisting. And these arguments are called binary theories. Means laterally few of the scholars have proposed that there is a companion theory. Companion theory means sun and all its planets coexist from the very beginning. There was status quo. There was no some sort of change or some sort of bigger or larger transformation over the planet, over the our solar system. That means that all these planets and sun coexist as a companion from the very beginning. And this argument is called binary theory. So there is already three theories which we all had learned over here. First is given by Immanuel Kant, revised by mathematician Laplace, called nebular hypothesis. Second theory is given by Chamberlain and Moulton, and they had given cigar-shaped extension theory, wandering star theory, and then the third one is this binary theory. Thereafter, in 1950, Otto Schmidt in Russia and Karl Vijalker in Germany revised the nebular hypothesis proposed by Immanuel Kant. Through the main concept is same, but they are differing in details. If you look into the theory proposed by Otto and Karl, overall it seems like it's just an extension or revision of nebular hypothesis, and both are talking about the same thing in short. But if you look into the details, they are differing in details. They both on an average considered that sun was surrounded by solar nebula containing mostly the hydrogen and helium, along with some sort of what may be termed as dust. Means they both are saying that sun is surrounded by solar nebula, which is consist of hydrogen, helium, and some sort of dust particle. And the friction and collision of the particle, this dust particle with hydrogen and helium gases, with the friction and collision of these things, they are led to the collision lead to the formation of disc-shaped cloud, and the planet were formed through the process of accretion. What it mean? It mean, what is accretion? Accretion is gradual accumulation of additional layer or matter. Means with time, with the is saying that there was a some sort of solar nebula which is surrounding the sun, and this solar nebula is consist of some gases like hydrogen, helium, and few of the smaller particles, smaller dust particles, and these all things are revolving around the sun. With time, these revolving matter gradually accumulated over each other, and there forms an additional layer or matter, and this in turn changed into a disc-shaped cloud, and planet were formed in this way or this process. So how scientists in the later period took up the problem of origin of universe rather than just that of earth or planet is saying that after all these proposed theory, scientists laterally started to looking after the entire universe as a whole rather than just studying about the earth or the planet itself. So before that, as I already said, we will look into the what is this nebular hypothesis. Let's see it here. What is this nebula and nebular hypothesis? There is evidence that the nebular hypothesis was first proposed in 1934 by Immanuel Kant, who was familiar with Swedenborg's work, developed the theory further in 1755. he argued he argued Immanuel Kant argued that gaseous cloud nebula means he is saying that the cloud of gases is called nebula, which slowly rotate and gradually collapse. These cloud of gases used to slowly rotate around the parent star, and with time it's gradually collapse and flatten due to gravity of the star itself or the gravity of the planet itself, and eventually forms stars and planet. Is saying that is saying that there was no star earlier. There was only a cloud of gases called nebula, which used to rotate around itself. With time it gradually collapse. These layer of gases or cloud of gases itself collapse and flatten due to some sort of gravity existing in between, and eventually forms star and planet. What it is, देखो क्या है, ये बोल रहा है कि पहले पूरे यूनिवर्स में कुछ था ही नहीं, गैसेस था सिर्फ. देयर वाज अ क्लाउड ऑफ गैसेस, मीन्स गैसेस का क्लाउड था. बहुत जगह मतलब एक जगह पे बहुत ज़्यादा एक्यूमुलेटेड सम सॉर्ट ऑफ हाइड्रोजन और हीलियम गैस था, और ये हाइड्रोजन और हीलियम गैस जो है वो रोटेट कर रहा था. रोटेट करने के कारण एक वहाँ पे एंगुलर मोमेंटम लगेगा. एंगुलर मोमेंटम अगर पढ़ा होगा, यानी कि सेंटर के टूवर्ड्स सेंटर देयर वाज अ फोर्स. और चूंकि ये सारे किस चीज़ के बने हुए हैं, गैसेस के बने हुए हैं, तो जब सेंटर के आउटसाइड से ड्यू टू रोटेशन ऑफ अर्थ एंगुलर मोमेंटम के कारण सेंटर की तरफ एक फोर्स लगेगा. और चूंकि ये सारे पार्टिकल किस चीज़ के हैं, गैसेस के हैं, एंड गैस का नेचर क्या होता है, एक्सपेंशन करने का, एक्सपेंड करने का. देयर वाज अ आउटर फोर्स बिकॉज ऑफ the expansion of gases, and this internal force because of rotation is always been more than the expanding force of gases. So overall what happens कि these cloud of gases started to condense itself or started to gradually collapse itself with collision. Let's see it here. Angular momentum is equal to torque is equal to R into F. F is force, R is distance between them. So this is the formula about the angular momentum. So what Immanuel Kant has proposed is that you can see it through these figures. The cloud spin more rapidly as it collapses because of conversion of angular momentum. What it says that ये देखो, ये बड़ा सा गैस का क्लाउड था, ये रोटेट कर रहा था तो इंटीरियर साइड में एंगुलर मोमेंटम लग रहा है बिकॉज ऑफ ग्रेविटी, बिकॉज ऑफ सम सॉर्ट ऑफ ग्रेविटी विद इन दिस क्लाउड. तो इंटरनल साइड में जब एंगुलर मोमेंटम लग रहा है तो क्या होगा, ये धीरे धीरे कॉन्ट्रैक्ट करेगा. इसका साइज जो है वो गैसेस का वो रिड्यूस होगा, और जैसे ही साइज रिड्यूस होगा, जो ये एंगुलर फोर्स लग रहा है, ये देखो एरो से दिखा रहा है ना कि ये रोटेशन का जो स्पीड है, वो रोटेशन का जैसे जैसे इसका साइज, क्लाउड ऑफ गैसेस का साइज रिड्यूस होगा, वैसे वैसे एंगुलर मोमेंटम का रेट जो है वो टर्निंग का, रोटेशन का रेट फर्दर इंक्रीज होगा. ये इस फॉर्मूला के ऊपर है. L इज इक्वल टू आर इंटू पी. डिस्टेंस बिटवीन द टू पार्टिकल जैसे जैसे रिड्यूस होगा, ओवरऑल द साइज ऑफ द क्लाउड ऑफ गैसेस जैसे जैसे रिड्यूस होगा, द वैल्यू ऑफ एंगुलर मोमेंटम दैट इज पी का वैल्यू यहाँ पे बढ़ेगा, तो रोटेशन का स्पीड बढ़ेगा. यानी कि ये बड़ा वाला जब तक गैस क्लाउड था तब तक रोटेशन ऑफ स्पीड वेयर कंपेरेटिवली स्लोअर. जैसे जैसे ये कॉन्ट्रैक्ट होकर स्मॉल होते जाएगा, रोटेशन का स्पीड बढ़ते चला जाएगा. और देखो यहाँ पे ये क्या बता रहा है, देखो एंगुलर मोमेंटम के कारण इनवर्ड फोर्स लग रहा है, ग्रेविटेशनल फोर्स, विच इज शोन बाय लाइट ग्रीन कलर, एंड विद द वेबग्योर और द ये बैगनी कलर जो है, ये बैगनी वाला कलर जो है, डार्क ग्रीन टाइप, ये बता रहा है क्या चीज का, गैसेस का एक्सपेंशन का जो गैस प्रेशर, द प्रेशर अटेम्प्टिंग टू एक्सपेंड द क्लाउड। तो गैस है, एक्सपेंडिंग नेचर है, तो उसके कारण जो फोर्स लग रहा है उसको बोलते हैं गैस प्रेशर अटेम्प्टिंग टू एक्सपेंड द क्लाउड। बट देयर इज ऑलवेज this pressure, gas pressure is always lesser than the gravitational force attempting to collapse the cloud because of angular momentum। और जब ये बड़ा होगा तो टाइम के साथ क्या होगा, ये ओवरऑल ये जो पूरा गैसेस का क्लाउड है वो कॉन्ट्रैक्ट करेगा, और जैसे जैसे कॉन्ट्रैक्ट करेगा ये रोटेशन का जो स्पीड है वो पहले स्लो था उससे बढ़ जाएगा। क्यों? क्योंकि देयर इज अ लॉ ऑफ एंगुलर मोमेंटम, that angular momentum cannot be there is a law which I will say you that angular momentum cannot be created nor be destroyed, means overall angular momentum remains constant, it cannot be created nor be destroyed. So that's why speed is slow, then the size is bigger, value of r is greater. When value of r reduces, the speed have to, or the angular momentum p has to increase to just maintain the angular momentum theory. Okay, so this is all about तो इसी के ऊपर नेबुलर हाइपोथेसिस है। चलिए इसको देखते हैं। And because of all these things, let's see it here also, is showing because of rotation of the cloud of gases is a side view. There it converted into disc-like shape where there is a bulge at the center, and all the remaining gaseous cloud started to get flattened and started to rotate more and more fastly. With time passes, it converted into this third shape where the shape of the disc increases with a very small bulge at the center, and speed get reduces. Means firstly cloud of gases converted into this shape where the speed of rotation is higher. With time it gets more and more flattened and speed reduces. Why? The radius increases, then to conserve the angular momentum speed need to be reduced. So this is all about the theory of nebula. So Immanuel Kant argued that gaseous cloud nebula which rotate slowly gradually collapse and flatten due to gravity and eventually forms stars and planet. So now you can understand what it is saying about. A similar model was proposed in 1976 by Parry-Simon Laplace. As I already told, Laplace supported Immanuel Kant. It featured a contracting and cooling proto-solar cloud, the proto-solar nebula. As the nebula contracted, it flattened and seeded angular momentum rings of material which later collapsed into the planets. While the Laplacian nebula model dominated the 19th century, it encountered a number of difficulties. The main problem was angular momentum distribution between the sun and the planet. Planet have 99% of the angular momentum. Why? It's broken down from the extension of sun itself, started rotating around the sun itself. Rate of rotation of the planet is more than the rotation of the sun. So this is the conflict in this theory, and the fact could be it cannot be explained by the nebular model. As a result, this theory of planet formation was largely abandoned at the beginning of the 20th century. Means this nebular hypothesis will rule throughout the 19th century but later in 20th century, because of these problems or difficulties, it is largely abandoned or ruled out. Okay. What is all about the nebulal hypothesis? Is original form was proposed by Kant and Laplace in 18th century, which rules throughout the entire 18th and 19th century, but in 20th century it's abundant. The initial step are indicated in the following figure. Collapsing cloud of gases and the dust resulted into a great cloud of gases and dust called a nebula began to collapse because of the gravitational force that would like to collapse it overcome the force associated with the gas pressure that would like to expand it. Means what I already said कि gravitational force because of rotation वो उसका मैग्नीट्यूड ग्रेविटेशनल फोर्स का मैग्नीट्यूड ज़्यादा था कंपेयर टू द force associated with gas pressure which want to expand it. So finally it collapsed and converted into a disc-shaped structure. It is unlikely that such a nebula would be created with no angular momentum. So it is probably initially spinning slowly. Means at the time of creation of this nebula itself, there was some sort of very small rate of rotation, and because of conservation of angular momentum, the cloud spins faster as it contracts. So as I already told that L is equal to R into P. If R reduces, then P have to increase, and P is the speed of rotation. So to conserve the angular momentum, that is on the basis of conservation of angular momentum, cloud spin faster as it contracts. As it rotates, it contracts. Why? Because the force due to rotation towards the gravitational force due to rotation towards the center of the nebula or gaseous cloud is more than the force because of the gas pressure which want to expand it, and that's why it contracts. As it contracts, the radius reduces. As the radius reduces, to maintain the conservation of angular momentum, the speed again increases. The value of P increases. The spinning nebula flattens because of competing force associated with, there was three force lying over here. First one is of gravity, second is gaseous pressure, and third is because of rotation. These all three forces acts together, and the spinning nebula flattens because the competing force associated with gravity, gas pressure, and rotation. The contracting nebula begins to flatten into spinning pancake shape. In the nebular hypothesis, a cloud of gases and dust collapsed by the gravity begins to spin faster because of angular momentum conservation, as I already told, with the bulge at the center as illustrated in the following figure. This figure shows the same thing. There was no disc shape in the first figure, but it is rotating at a faster rate. With time, what happens? It flattens because of the given, as I already explained, it flattens because the internal force due to gravity and the force due to rotation is greater than the force exerted by gaseous pressure, and that's why it started to flatten and condense. Flatten. It happens to contract and flatten. With contraction, the radius decreases and angular momentum increases. As the angular momentum increases more, then again the force due to gravity and angular momentum increases, it again flattens the whole system into a disc, but there was a small bulge in the middle, which is the center of the whole nebular hypothesis. तो आप अभी तक समझ गए होंगे ये सारी चीजें. In the next class, we will start with the modern theories related to the origin of universe. Here we will study about Big Bang theory and related things. So go and revise this thing. I just already explained all the early theories related with the origin of Earth. You need to look into these things in detail. We will see you in the next class. Bye bye.